Hello, hello. All right, we'll give everybody a couple more minutes to file in. Guys, got any questions while we're hanging out? Feel free to type it or ask it. All right, well, I guess we will go ahead and get started. Okay. So, hey, there's some more faces. So I'm in the process of trying to get these things uploaded to and put on the e-learning system. It's kind of a mixed bag because we won't really use it a lot for our work, but I will need, we'll be posting grades and everything else, like the syllabus and that kind of stuff through the portals on there, just so you guys have access to it. But it's not easy to upload stuff to, so working on that. But we will go over the gist of everything. So let's see. All right. So name is Dr. Dean. My office is usually located in Gibbs 211, but online things are going to work a little bit different. For right now, my virtual office hours are Tuesdays and Thursdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. those are the hard guaranteed hours, but they will be a little bit more expansive, which we'll talk about in a bit. Email address is cdean@allenuniversity.edu. A big deal with this is we assume that you guys have access to your email, and therefore we need to make sure that you guys have access to that and e-learning. So the way I do my office hours is through this little application called Discord. Some of y'all may have heard of it, may have used it before. Something that a lot of people use for various things. Most common is probably gaming. Started off as a text and voice chat feature, but expands to has a bunch of different capabilities now. So I like it. It's very simple, very easy to use. You can download the app and go full in, or you can just click the link and it will open in a whatever browser you use, if it's Google or Safari, and you don't have to download anything. So up to you how you want to use that. So course objectives. So it's a college algebra class. We're going to do a little review on basics of maths, and then jump into how to solve equations, how to plot and read graphs, and a few other things in between. So one big thing is the online nature of this class. There's been a lot of discussion about how exactly we want to do it. I am shooting for kind of a mixed bag. So some of it is going to be like classic online stuff where requires you guys to kind of learn some of this stuff on your own. You'll have lots of different resources available, and it also will have a couple in-class type sessions, and those I'm generally going to use for questions, because I know some of this stuff is difficult to email a question about a math problem. You can't just say number 6, I don't know. It's not really a whole lot of information, and it's very difficult to get to the problem unless we have some back and forth. So with that, I will be hosting a kind of a Zoom thing every day where I'm going to be going over the material for that planned day, and the daily planning session is through here. So this is the estimated progress that we're going to do. And we are, I'm sorry, I had a little brain malfunction. And so I'm going to do it's going to kind of be like classes were in the spring, where I'll have a Zoom session and I will just be going over that section. You will not be required to make it to every session. However, you will be required to come to at least 2 of those every week, and interact, not just show up and check out, but I need some interaction, some discussion, that kind of thing. In order for it to count, there has to be, some back and forth. Otherwise, if you did not go to those sessions, I will be uploading those videos to my YouTube channel, which is elsewhere. We'll get into that. but this is the idea. I will be teaching everything that needs to be taught in classic lecture style. So if that's the way you learn, come to all of them. I highly suggest it. If not, if you're better self-paced, that kind of thing, then feel free. I'm going to be opening up all the assignments for you guys very soon, so that if you are someone who wants to push ahead, you're welcome to. That's how most online classes tend to be, is self-paced study. But I do have this kind of set out pacing for those who may not be that great all on their own. But it still is going to require some of it. Okay. So all the other policies regarding plagiarism, dress code, it's not as big of a deal, obviously, on here, but when you're using the camera function, please be dressed in a way that is appropriate, I guess is the only way I can say that. And if you have questions about what is appropriate, you can check the student handbook on that. So this is an online class, and you need to have access to a computer. It can be yours. Doesn't have to be, would highly suggest, but that kind of should go without saying, is you need to be able to get online to do your classwork. So make sure you can get online. Late assignments, so it's a little bit different than in class, but basically all of the assignments for homework are going to be due every weekend. We're going to go over a section. I guess I can go ahead and start to that point. We're going to go over a normal section in a week, and we will have a test that weekend. I might go ahead and add in the homework dates as well. But basically, all of the homework for these chapters will be due that Sunday night, 11:59 p.m. So that way, when we start the next week on the new chapter, new sections and stuff, there's no overhang. We plow through that first set, and then we're done with it. And then we plow through the next set, done with it, plow through the next set, we're done with it. With that in mind, because some things can happen, and late work I do accept, I will be opening all of these homeworks. I'll be reopening them after this week at a reduced value. So the way I do this is I go in, hello, I go in and I take down your scores, and you get 100% of whatever you had on that score when it was due. So say on this assignment, you got an 80%. Great. When it's due, I take all of those scores down. I write an 80% in your book, in your grade book for that assignment, and you're good. However, at the very end, I will also take all of the assignments and take their grades down, and you will get 75% of whatever other homework basically you turned in after that point. So if you got an 80% because you didn't finish, you know, 2 questions at the end or something. As long as you finished it by the end of the semester, you can make up some of that extra percentage. So if it's 80% to start, that's great. But if you didn't do any of it, then as long as you do it by the end of the semester, you can still get up to 75%. If you have questions about how that works, I'm happy to go over it with you in a little bit more detail. But that's the general idea, is makeup work will be allowed, but at a reduced quality. So again, this is how everything goes. We'll talk a little bit more about items for grading in a little bit. Course evaluation, participation, 10%. So this is, this section is mainly about, did you show up to lectures? Did you interact in lectures? This kind of stuff all goes into participation. Did you have a good attitude? Just, it needs to be stated that being here is a big important part of passing the class. Homework, 20% of your grade. Lecture exams, of which you will have 4. Each one is 10%, and so if you add them all up, you get 40%. Final exam is 20%. Quizzes are 10%. And the tests are all in bold. Again, I will go over the details of those on the other document I sent a little bit more in a second. And this is our final, this is the textbook, and we'll get to that information, which is in the other document, in just a second. Any questions right yet? I like questions, first of all. So please, feedback is very important. I don't want to just sit here and drone on and on, talk to myself. I tend to do better when people ask me questions. So help me help you.
So all our work gonna be online, right?
Okay, yeah, so that's a good segue. I will go to that. All right, so where is my share button? Yes, all of your work is going to be online. And it's through this thing we have with Cengage called WebAssign. And if you are following along on your computer, I guess I will go ahead and do this. So there is a course key, which is in the document that I sent, but I'll also show it up on here. So this entire thing is your course key. allenuniv.sc space 0651 space 3374. So some people were just putting in the numbers, that kind of thing. It's the entire string, everything that's in bold right there. That is the course key. The way we enter that course key is, what's popping up on the screen right now?
Google.
Okay. So you go to www.getenrolled. I think it's just .com. Yeah. So getenrolled.com. Again, all this information is written in that document that I sent, but this is I wanted to show you guys to make sure that we knew exactly how to go about it. Take that course key and copy and paste. Is that the right one? Oh, that's the previous one. Click enroll. This thing will pop up and it'll say, awesome, we found your course. MAT-111, Allen University, Charles Dean, register. Click register and it will take you to Cengage. It might not do it for me because, oh yeah. So it will ask you to sign in to your Cengage account. However you do that, it should be your Allen email address and then whatever else. So all right, so my probably mad because I shouldn't be doing that because I'm already signed in as a lecturer, but that's the plan. Once you sign in, it will add my course and my and the book to your Cengage dashboard. So somebody's excited. Let's try this again, see if it works. I was hoping to have it show you. Okay, so I see the question in chat. There's not a student view version, but the book looks like this. So it's kind of gold with little swirlies on it. That's the book that we're using. And then also you'll have a little link for WebAssign. And if you click the link for WebAssign, it will take you to something that looks like this. Okay. So before we move on, the question in chat is about how often do we meet for Zoom? So I will be doing a Zoom every day that goes over the stuff that's in that list of things, okay? That's on the syllabus. So I'll go over it and teach it kind of like I normally would. And then we can talk about asking questions or doing specific examples, any of that kind of stuff. And I'll send out that invite a little bit later. You have to go to, I'm trying to get this figure locked down from my my superiors, but you have to be present and interacting for at least 2 of those every week. It might be 3, but I think it's 2. So you have to be active and participate. That means ask questions, do that kind of stuff. Doesn't matter which 2 every week, but at least 2. If you did not make it, I will also be posting all of those things to my YouTube channel. Where is it? All right. So all right, so this is just a list of all of my other classes. But you will have a new playlist that says MAT-111 Summer 2020. So this is you can go back and look at some of the ones that I had for the spring if you want to. There you go. But you will have a little list of all of the videos that I do. Okay, so if you ever need to go back and reference them, they will be there. So let's see. Okay. So coming to them and reviewing them there. All right, let's go back to the WebAssign stuff. Okay, already got some people coming in, it looks like. That's great. Currently, you have one assignment getting started with WebAssign Mathematics. This is it's not a difficult assignment. It's entirely about, this is how you enter in numbers. This is how you do a graph on WebAssign. So it's very quick, very straightforward. But you need to do it by tomorrow night. This is your opening assignment. Basically, this is to guarantee that you are on WebAssign, because like was said previously, all of your assignments will be through WebAssign. Okay. And I haven't put the other ones up yet. They will open, might open them maybe tomorrow, but I plan to have all of your assignments for the whole semester open day one. So you can work ahead if you would like to, but obviously you do not have to. Okay. All right. So where's my documents? All right. So where'd it go? So this is my addendum, additional course policies document. So the grading scale, just kind of spelled out. It's pretty standard. A, B, C, D, F. I'll be posting assignments first week of class. It's highly recommended that you at least kind of start looking at them early, but it's also understandable if you don't. So some of this did not get edited correctly. So I need to redo this statement. This is for a different class. Participation is going to be based on, like we said earlier, showing up to number of Zoom meetings and interacting. If you don't interact, don't have good attitude, then that's where participation will drop. So we mentioned quizzes. The way quizzes are going to work is there will be a quiz every day that is open only for that day that will govern the topics for that day. I know having an assignment every day, even if it's short, is kind of annoying maybe to some, but it actually goes a long way in making people think about the course. Otherwise, if things are too spread out, other stuff just kind of gets, comes up and you're like, oh, I'll get to it later. But if there's this tiny little thing every day, then for the most part, people are better at remembering everything else going on in the class. It keeps it fresh in your mind. So that's why I do it this way, and it is actually helpful. As annoying as you might think it is, you will most likely do better because of it. So like I said, I'll do a live Zoom meeting that day covering the topic that you can come to. Not, I suggest, but that is what it is. So, but that quiz will be like one question, and it will be open for that day. So someone asked, how do we submit quizzes? They will pop up as little assignments in Cengage. Good question. So right now, it says getting started with WebAssign mathematics every day, and I'll have them open at 12:01 in the morning to 11:59 at night. It'll pop up. So sometime during that day, just log on and go, and you will you should see it up there. Good question. So all of your assignments will be done through Cengage, or the WebAssign part of Cengage. WebAssign assignments for each class due the following Sunday, 11:59, unless I state otherwise for some reason. Most of this stuff is pretty standard. Obviously, you can use calculators, but for tests and quizzes, you'll need to take a picture of any work and email it to me. Just say this is for quiz, whatever, in the title line. That's what I was talking about, the reopen for partial credit, attendance. So one question comes up a lot is extra credit. I don't tend to do extra credit assignments. There will be some peppered here and there, but I don't have like do this thing for extra credit. In my history, my experience, if people know that there are extra credit assignments, it makes the other assignments less appealing, and they just don't do that. Rely on extra credit, but that not very helpful. So respect learning disabilities, community integrity. Most of that's boilerplate stuff. Testing policy, we will talk about a little bit more as it gets closer. Basically, your test will be timed. So you'll have 75 minutes, and there will be 2 different versions of each test. This is to prevent issues of, oh, well, my internet was out that day, or, oh, my thing locked up on me. So I can't do any extensions or anything else like that. That's why you have multiple versions of the test, is in case something happens. And if something happens the first time, I highly suggest you don't immediately go open the second one and try to do it. You'll have a couple days to do them, so hold off. Don't open it until you're ready, because the timer will start as soon as you open it. Take pictures of any of your work for partial credit. Test will open Friday morning. I think I'm going to change this to Sunday evening, just the extra day. This is something I suggest across the board. Do not use Internet Explorer for anything if you don't have to. It's terrible. So kind of the same thing with Safari. It has some issues with WebAssign not saving work correctly. I have not seen any issues related to our WebAssign stuff and Google Chrome or Firefox. So use those for everything. Otherwise, I mean, you're going to run into issues and it's not going to go well for you. So, all right, a couple good questions. Here, we only have 5 minutes left on this short little duration thing. So I'm going to skip ahead to one extra little bit at the end here. Class meetings will be held at normal times through Zoom. To participate, you've got to actually be there. And if you need to go back and look at something, this is the link to my YouTube channel. So go check it out. Also, the way we're going to be doing office hours is the thing I wanted to get to. You can do it through email, but the way I have set up with Discord, students found it very helpful after they tried it. For some reason, it was really scary beforehand, but after you do it, it's very easy. You'll click on that link, and you can either download the app. There's one on your phone or your computer, or if you just click on the link, it will take you to, let's see. All right, so it'll take you to this thing. And because I have the app open, it just went to that app. But otherwise, it will take you to something. Oh, it's going to ask me to log in because I'm on this other thing. If you're doing your own, you just make an account. You don't even have to really like do anything. You just need a name associated with it. But the reason I say that is because after this, I will be over there. And it looks something like this. So you have a specific text channel that if you want to type stuff, you just type it. This is great for asking questions to other students. You can share pictures or whatever files just by dragging and dropping them. It's one of the reasons I love this, because it's not like other stuff like where's a small document. There's a picture of my kid. I just drag it, upload, and it's taking a second because it's having to download it. But this was great for students sharing work, asking questions. I highly suggest you use this text channel to do like ask other people in the class questions. It's great. There's also a voice channel. So to do it, all you do is you just click on the voice and you will pop in, and there you go. And you can ask me questions. Like I said, I will be in this channel for the next probably 30, 45 minutes after class to hopefully answer some of these questions. But real quick, so we'll meet you at the same, will we be meeting at the same time tomorrow? Yes, I will have a Zoom invite. It'll probably be 11 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, but I will be sending that invite out soon. Someone said take pictures of your work. So I'm trying to get it so I can do it through Cengage. There is a thing available, but you kind of have to have your camera and the work being done on the same device. Otherwise, you have to like take a picture on your phone, download it to your computer, and then upload it. And that could mess with the time stuff. So that's why in the thing right now, it just says email. But we're about to get kicked off. So if you've got any other questions, hit me up on the Discord. But otherwise, I will be sending out a Zoom link for a similar meeting tomorrow. Okay. let's see. But make sure you get into WebAssign and do that little intro thing. And if you got any other questions, comments, please let me know. I know kind of squished at the end of this, but okay.